What's up, guys? Good morning. It's actually early as fuck right now. Um, what's up, guys? Good morning. So it's early as hell. It's actually probably about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted to make a reply. Well, not really a reply, but a um, what's up, guys? Good morning and God bless. So I was watching a video earlier. Actually, it was yesterday. What's up, guys? Good morning and God bless. So, yesterday I was watching a video. There's this guy that I follow on YouTube. His name's Daniel Blackburn. And he was talking about, the 4th of July and the way to behave. He said, don't overdrink and, be careful and stuff like that. And one of the things he was talking about was road rage. And it just reminded me, he said, be careful who you road rage with because you never know, what a person would do. And it kind of reminded me of a story. So I wanted to share a story with you guys. And maybe it'll kind of teach a lesson along with, just being hopefully an entertaining video. First of all, let me tell you guys that it's not like a super recent story. Probably maybe about 15 years ago, right? But driving with my family, I think we just left the mall. We were going to another store or something like that. And I'm sitting in traffic, right? I'm at the red light. Now, this is before, mind you, this is not that cell phones didn't exist, but this is before people, played on their phone every second, every time, we got a red light or whatever. So I'm just sitting at the red light and I'm getting ready to go. The light turns green and I take my foot off the brake and instantly the guy behind me like starts honking at me. And again, this is 15 years ago, but I was kind of a hothead. And literally, I get out of my car. I go over. The guy opens up his window. I get in his fucking face and I'm like, fuck you beeping at me for, motherfucker. I said, get the fuck out of your car. And he didn't. So I spit in his face. And, I'm screaming at him, just super, you know, just lost my shit, right? And he didn't do shit. I got back in my van, and we drove off, right? And my wife was like, honey, what the fuck are you doing? It took a while for my anger to subside, but once it did, I started thinking to myself, and it was kind of a game changer for me as far as like outbursts and just doing that sort of shit. It kind of made me think like, what if the guy would have just pulled out a gun and bam, shot me, killed me, right? Or what if I would have got back in my van with my kids and my wife, and the guy just pulled out a gun and opened fire on the entire vehicle? Could have killed all of us. Could have killed my family, right? And and again, this is a long time ago, so it's not super raw or super deep as far as me thinking about it anymore. But I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. Not that you guys are jumping out of vehicles and screaming and spitting at people like a bunch of fucking animals, but there are times that we lose our shit, we lose our cool, and things can happen that we don't necessarily think about, right? Like you might get into an argument with somebody at work and just think to yourself, well, it's just Joe, you know. So you talk shit about him. Oh, fuck you, Joe, you piece of shit. Well, Joe could just shoot and kill you. Now, I know everybody on the internet's a tough guy and, oh, I carry two. And if Joe ever pulled his gun out, I'd defend myself. Here's the reality of life and arguing with people, right? I know we all think we're tough and we all have this assumption that we can just defend ourselves because, you're good with your hands or you got a pistol or whatever the case may be. But here's the fucking reality. You get into an argument with somebody, and if you disrespect, and I'm not saying that you should just be passive and just allow other people to walk all over you. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is if you're being aggressive and you're disrespecting somebody with the idea of you can handle yourself. Now imagine a scenario like this. Fuck you gonna do, Joe? Fuck you, you piece of shit. I got my gun. What are you gonna do? Right? You go back to work, or after work, you get in your truck, you go to start your fucking truck, and bam, your life ends. You see what I'm saying? And again, there's other um the other thing that I wanted to explain to you guys is it's not always the tough guy that does something. Usually it's the scared guy. I always tell people in life, it's not always the tough guy that's going to shoot you or stab you. It's usually the guy that's not so tough, and he does it out of fear. So if you think, well, Joe's just a pussy, he ain't going to do anything, you'd be wrong, because that's the guy that's going to do something. Because Joe's not going to, and again, I'm just using the name Joe just as a, quintessential average name, not calling anybody out, but Joe's a pussy, right? So if you disrespect Joe and Joe feels like he doesn't have any recourse to protect himself or to stand up for himself, he's going to go to the extreme. He's not going to box you because he can't fight. So he's going to just shoot you or your family, and these are things that we have to start thinking about um, as grown-ups, especially online. You go online and there's so many crazy things that are said. There's so much crazy jibber jabbing amongst people. And we have to start being careful. and again, not, and again, don't take this the wrong way, guys. I'm not saying, oh, everybody should just be a pacifist and we should just be okay with anybody doing whatever. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be careful, because you don't know. Okay. How do I want to put this? So I kind of took a break there. I was just kind of thinking about how I wanted to put this, um, and how I wanted to express this to you guys. But part of being a good father is being a protector, but also part of being a father and a husband is not putting your family in a situation where you bring danger to them by being this boisterous, tough guy, right? So, again, think of a situation where, you want to play the tough guy. You're at a restaurant, somebody bumps into you, or, they're doing something that you dislike. And you're like, you fucking pussy, what are you going to do? Right? And then you go sit down and you're having family with your, or you're having family with your lunch. You're having lunch with your family, and some guy just opens fire on your entire family. And again, I understand the whole idea of, well, I can protect myself because I'm carrying. You can't when you got a bullet in your head. These are just realities that a lot of people are missing, man, in life. We have this weird, I shouldn't say a lot of people have this weird sense of security based off of the fact that they have a weapon. You know, it's like a lot of people say, well, my house is well protected. You know, nobody's coming into my house because, I got 50 guns in my house. And I think and I go, well, that's all fine and dandy. But what happens when you really piss somebody off and they set your house on fire and just start plucking your family off as you guys run out? You know what I mean? My point is that there's invariables, and none of us are supermen, right? And our family, we can't leave our family vulnerable based off of our indiscretions and what we want to portray in life. Once you have a family, you have to start changing and start thinking differently. So that's kind of my point, guys, is, and I know I kind of went off on a tangent and stuff like that, but my point is, if you're out on the road, if you're out in public, and again, I'm not saying that if somebody's being disrespectful that you shouldn't assertively say something to them, but being overly aggressive with the anticipation of you're protecting your family sometimes puts your family in danger. That's my point for today. All right. Take care and God bless, guys. I hope you continue to watch the channel. Why don't you guys like, comment, subscribe? That's what I need you guys to start doing. Start spreading the word about the channel. And I hope you guys have a great 4th of July. I hope you guys have a great summer. Take care and God bless.